So, good morning and happy welcome to today's webinar from our side. Max Büscher, Key Account Manager at Shopware, is today on my side to present you the current possibilities of Shopware 6. We will record the webinar and make it available to you via email afterwards. So if you have any questions in between, please use the Q&A button in the Zoom interface. And at the end of the webinar, we will try to answer as many questions as possible. One question will be clarified in advance, who's actually speaking. My name is Marion Berges. I'm working as a partner marketing manager at Shopware, and I'm also responsible for the webinars. So let's start. And Max, now you can introduce yourself briefly.
So hello, also a warm welcome from my side. My name is Max Büscher. I'm Key Account Manager at Shopware. I started 2017 at Shopware, and I'm mainly responsible for UK agencies, but in the international sales team, we support each other. So I'm responsible mostly for agencies in the international sales team. And that's, I think, also the main reason why I'm doing this webinar today. And let's just jump into it. So a quick look at the agenda. We will do a short recap. So what happened since the launch of Shopware 6 till today. We will have a very short deep dive into the technology, because you need to understand which technology drives our product. Then we will go into key features of the product, which is highly represented by a demo part, so you actually see the platform. And afterwards, we talk about the different editions and where to position them in the market. And we also give an outlook on Q4 2020 and beyond. And we will end today's session, as Marion said, with a Q&A session. The presentation will take maybe around 15 minutes. And I think for the Q&A section, we have as much time as we need for answering, hopefully, all the questions. So a short recap. The launch of the platform mainly consists about 3 milestones. So which is the phase 1, which was the developer preview in Q2 last year, phase 2, the early access in Q3 last year, and starting in January with the release of Shopware 6.1, you would have a fully functional platform with which you can sell basically online. So we introduced Shopware 6 at our own show, the Shopware Community Day last year with, as I said, the early access. And towards this year, we can now fully do e-commerce projects on the platform. And these were mainly the 3 milestones. And to go a bit deeper into that, what we already achieved from the last Community Day in May last year till today, I put together a few figures. So since May last year, there were 16 minor releases. So there was the early access phase, 5 release candidates, 6 patches, and 2 minor releases. There were already nearly 2,000 tickets solved, 800 bugs were put out of the platform, around 900 story improvements, epic tickets, design tickets. So there was actually happening a lot during the early access phases and the developer preview phase till the final launch. And you can also see on the left-hand side that Shopware 6.2, so the first minor improvements already launched in Q2 2020. So actually a lot is happening on the platform or with the platform. And there are already more than 50,000 downloads, 7,500 shops are in production or already live on Shopware 6. So even if we launched it just last year, there's already a bigger number developing on the platform, using the platform, developers adapting it, merchants adapting it. 90 plus enterprise projects are in development. And for us, an enterprise project is obviously every project where we can sell a so-called enterprise license. So maybe you have a different understanding about enterprise than we have, but maybe we can clarify it afterwards in the editions section. Obviously, because Shopware 6 is built from the ground up, so from scratch, our technology partners had to adapt the platform, and there are already 1,000 third-party extensions in development, and obviously huge numbers already live. So you can really use the platform in a lot of European markets. So let's go into the platform. Maybe some of you have never heard about the platform or have never seen the platform. Some of you are more familiar with it and maybe want to catch up before you consider it for your project or for your agency. So let's do the basics. Shopware 6 is mainly built on these core technologies. Maybe you ask yourself why, because on the left-hand side, Vue.js has more than 600,000 developers, and on the right-hand side, Symfony has more than 2 million developers. So there's a bigger pool of developers that is already familiar with this kind of software. And we use full stack Symfony, so one of the most common PHP frameworks, which should make it easy for you as an agency to find developers or train your Symfony developers onto the platform. And it also makes it easy for you as a merchant to find an agency who can do a cost-efficient build, because there's no bigger training involved in onboarding your developers or the agency onto the platform. Another key driver or another key thing for Shopware 6 is that it is API first. So it has the headless e-commerce approach, and our platform follows this API first approach to give you the ability to develop modern front-end experiences for merchants. And it also puts us as Shopware or you as the merchant in the best place for future use cases. So because we have this headless architecture, the core here in the middle stands on its own and is very slim and efficient. You can easily add it to our administration area that is coming with it, a standard store front end, but also more future use cases like an integration into IoT devices would be possible via this headless approach. And that's basically the key driver for the future for us. So the platform is built under this headless approach based on mainly Vue.js and Symfony. And the key features of the platform are the following. So obviously our Shopware administration area, which is developed based on merchants' feedback that used the previous version 5, and it has a minimal approach. The administration is basically based on Vue.js, so it's easy to develop extensions for the administration area. And yeah, what more to say about it? We can just jump into the demo, and this is the standard front end of a Shopware 6 demo. And I want to show you the administration area. So I will just log in here. And this is the standard administration area. As you see, it is a clean, minimal design. On the left-hand side, you have all the different sections that you need in an e-commerce platform. And obviously, if I would want to work in the product section, I could also work across multiple tabs, as you can see. And this color scheme, so green for catalog sections, you can always see in the little browser icon, the favicon on top, which makes it easy to work in the administration area in different parts of the administration area. Also key is the search, so you can search for basically everything within the administration area, and you can already instantly see that it categorizes the search results in the different sections that we have in the administration area. But if I only want to search for a certain product, I can pre-select products and search for only the products and instantly jump to it. And as you can see, it should be easy to use. There were a lot of improvements since the initial launch of Shopware 6. So you have basic statistics already built in terms of turnover and visitors. And it is easy to use this administration. And it has maybe some more little features that I can quickly show, but we could go deeper into that in other Academy sessions that we have on our website, but you can influence the listing and stuff like that. So all this kind of little things that should make it easier to work within this new administration area. Next up would be the rule builder. It is some kind of what you see is what you get for your business model. So it's easy to put in also complex business models without being a developer. It's a powerful personalization tool that is built in all editions of Shopware. So not only the biggest enterprise edition, that is also available in the community one. And it's easy to build your workflows within the rule builder for your customers. Maybe that all of that sounds a bit abstract, so I will show you a practical example. If you go to the settings over here, you can directly find the rule builder here. And here you can build various rules. That could influence the pricing, so you could do customer-specific pricing with it. You can develop shipping rules based with the rule builder. You can build promotions with the rule builder, and let's use the promotion as an example. So I previously built the rule new customers. So I want to filter with this kind of rule all customers that are new to my online shop. I can give it a priority. So if multiple rules would match one customer or one condition. With the priority, you can set which rule should then be taken. You could do an internal description, and you could also select a different section within the online shop where it should be available, but this one should be for everything available. And then you have a set of predefined conditions that were developed by us, but because the platform is open source, you can, as a developer, extend these conditions on your own, and it should be easy to extend these conditions. And there were a lot of conditions added over the time since the initial launch of the developer preview last year. And because in my example, I want to filter all customers that are new to my site, I selected count of orders is equal to 0. So he hasn't ordered before, it is a new customer for me. I can save that and go into the promotion sections over here under marketing. And I already created a rule which says 10% for all new customers. So I basically have to give it a name, select a sales channel, a store front end where this promotion should be available, a date, obviously. Here under preconditions, I can select my rule among all other rules available for promotions. And I have to give it a discount, so a card discount of 10%. And what I should be able to do right now is to log in as a new customer. Hopefully I got the password right. Correct. And if I go to any kind of product within the store and add it to the shopping cart, you can instantly see that the discount is applied because the customer I created hasn't ordered before, and you can see it right here. So without any extra development work, without any, I don't know, spending a lot of time in the administration area, you could see that it is as easy as that to develop customer-specific promotions for various kind of things. And that does not only count for promotions, that also counts for, as I said, customer-specific pricing. So if I open a product here where I could put in the description and everything, I can also open the advanced pricing section and can select a rule here, which could be only customers from the US. And I can put in a different pricing for US customers right here. So already in out-of-the-box Shopware, it is easy with the rule builder to do personalization, to do customer-specific pricing, promotions, shipment. So I could restrict express shipping, for example, only to customers within Germany because my headquarters in Germany. I cannot ship something throughout all over Europe within a day. So I could restrict that with the rule builder. And these are just two very basic examples of a very powerful tool that is globally applied throughout the Shopware 6 business logic or the Shopware 6 core. Okay, next up would be shopping experiences. This is something that was a key USP for us with version 5. So to make it easy to develop content sites without being a developer from the administration area, which look good on all devices. So as you see in the key points here, it should be intuitive, easy to use, flexible. And I would also show it to you in the demo right here. So if you go to content, we find the shopping experiences right here, and you can develop different kinds of shopping experiences or basically CMS pages. So shop pages like the terms and conditions side, landing pages, like you saw on the shop right here. So if we go to the home page, this is basically a landing page created in the CMS tool. And you can also develop templates for category pages. But first, let's jump into the homepage that you've seen. And you can see that there are different elements in here that you can instantly edit. For example, if I want to edit the text, I can just click in here and have rich text editing functionalities with which I can develop a site that looks good without being a developer, as I said. And you can also add more so-called blocks. So there are blocks for text, images, videos, so various things. And we added a huge amount of new blocks over the time since the launch. So if you checked out Shopware 6 in the beginning with the developer preview, and you see this webinar right now, you see that a lot of things were added. And if I want to add a new element, I can just, via drag and drop, put it underneath or on top of each of the other elements. That is because of, if we have this so-called block system, each block knows how to rearrange and how to behave on different devices. So if I would go down to a mobile overview, each block knows how to rearrange so that it always looks good on mobile. And I do not have to create a CMS page for all the devices. I just need to create it once. And I can make sure, I'm sure that it looks good on all devices. And you can also, here with the text and image block, you can also swap the items. So if I want to display a product here, I can just select a new product, and I select the product box and select the product right here and display it on the home page. And maybe to stick with the example of the 10% for new customers, I could just add a new text block on top of my home page and say 10% for new customers. That's right. And hopefully if I've done everything right, you could instantly see it on the homepage. So it's easy as that to create good looking CMS pages within Shopware 6 out of the box. And shopping experiences are to a certain extent available in all editions of Shopware. There are little differentiators like over here, the quick view section. So I could activate that if I click on this element, that there's a pop-up window which has more detailed information about the product than what I've seen here in the picture. That's, for example, a differentiator for the professional edition, which is not in community, but that are the shopping experiences in general are available throughout all editions of Shopware. You also have different views. So if you're only the one who will edit the text and select the images, you have no overview for that, which is more functional, I would say. And I also quickly explained that you can build templates for category pages. So I can say that if I go to this overview, there should be an image on top, and then there should be all the products linked to the category where I want to use this template in standard sorting. And here I want to have a block for top sellers, and then I can apply this category template throughout all categories that I have. That's just two very quick, very basic examples. If you want to go in detail about that, at the end, we will display an email address. So just send us an email that you want to have a more extensive or more extended demo from us. That would be also no problem. But for this webinar, we wanted to keep it short. And so let's jump into the next key feature, which is sales channels. More or less right now, or in 2020, a baseline expectation, but it's also out of the box on Shopware. So an international rollout with Shopware is quite easy, or very easy basically, because it's an open source on-premise platform. Multi-language, multi-currency is no problem, as you see later on in the demo. You can sell on various social platforms with native integrations, and it's built, or you can build your own front-end experiences via an API sales channel that you can use for your native app or for any other integration. So back into the demo. You see on the left-hand side already the sales channels section and maybe a few familiar icons, but let's first talk about standard storefront. This is, for example, my main shop that I have over here. And I can select basically everything regarding this shop, the payment methods that should be available in this specific shop, the shipping methods, the countries that where I make it available to ship to, the currencies that I want to offer in the shop, the languages, and that should show you how easy it is to do an international rollout. I could also do for each country site a new sales channel, so that I have a sales channel for all European countries with their respective currency and their respective language. So you can build up as much or create as much sales channels as you want in all editions of Shopware. So there's no limitation from our side. There are differentiators to the professional edition, which is the first commercial one, but I explain that in detail later on. So storefront would always be possible in every edition. Headless would be also possible in every edition, but something like the social shopping integration, so that you can instantly sell your products from your Shopware shop onto Facebook, Instagram, export it to Google Shopping and Pinterest. That's a feature that's only available starting the professional edition. And what it would do is that you can select a certain set of products where Shopware then creates the export link that you need to import your product catalog onto Facebook Shopping or Instagram Shopping, for example, so you can assign then the products that you have here in Shopware to certain images on Instagram or certain posts on Facebook. So it's very easy to generate this export link to use the social platforms to sell your products. And that's one of the key features of the sales channel. And as I said, you can build up as much sales channels as you want. And there are also going to be more sales channels in the future. So social shopping, Instagram, Facebook, Google Shopping, they came with version 6.1 in January. And there are going to be more versions or more sales channel available at starting the Shopware Community Day, which is on the 18th of June. And there we'll have a talk regarding how you can, with out-of-the-box Shopware, sell on various marketplaces like Amazon and eBay. So it would be worth checking that out if you're interested in more sales channels, or if you're interested in selling from your online shop also onto marketplaces. Shopware B2B, or as we call it, the B2B suite, is an enterprise feature. And it was available in version 5, and it's now also available in version 6. So also you have a detailed or customer-specific pricing behind it. You have an offer system so that customers cannot just check out. They can also ask for a different price. You can put in your whole company scheme as someone that orders onto our B2B platform and give certain roles and rights and budgets to it. But to explain everything in detail and go into the demo would be content for a separate webinar. So it would be worth checking out our website, the webinar section. I assume that there are more webinars coming in the current times or during the current times. And there will definitely one about B2B. Also, something that just launched this week in beta is Shopware PWA. So we teamed up with View Storefront, who are doing a lot in terms of PWA. If you maybe not familiar with the term, PWA stands for Progressive Web App, and these are web applications that are basically regular web pages or websites, but they can appear also to the user as a traditional native app. So it combines a best of both worlds, from an online presence and from a native app. It can use things like offline navigating through sites, and you do not have to develop a native app for each of the devices that are out there on Android and iOS. You can use one PWA for all devices. That are just a few examples of a PWA, and we teamed up with View Storefront, one of the basically most used PWA open source projects, to develop our Shopware PWA based on the View Storefront Next technology. If you want to learn more about PWA, just reach out to us via the email that you will see at the end, and we can talk more in detail about that. But just to mention that Shopware is doing something in terms of PWA that can help our customers use this technology to reach customers more efficient, basically. That would be the quick overview about our key features. As I said, if you want to learn more about it, just drop us an email and we can schedule a demo, no problem. Now we want to talk about the market positioning of the different editions of Shopware. Maybe you noticed that I've mentioned a few times Professional Edition, Enterprise Edition, but what actually does that mean? This is basically the market positioning of our different editions. So we have something for small and smallest businesses, something for the mid-tier, so SMB, and something for bigger enterprise clients. So unlike other e-commerce platform providers, there's not just a free community one and a large enterprise. And for the mid-tier, an agency has to develop a lot and it's costly based on the community edition. We also have something in between called the Professional Edition, which also comes with support from us as the manufacturer. But I talk more in detail about that later on. So as you see, from the smallest mom and pop shop to the largest enterprise business, maybe not the largest that is out there because they would have a custom platform, but to a certain extent, we can serve enterprise clients and small customers. And on the left-hand side, it is, or it starts with the so-called Starter Edition, which is basically a SaaS platform of Shopware 6. And then we have the Community Edition, which more or less has a developer focus, as you see here. And then we have the Professional Edition, which is available currently as an on-premise solution. And same for the Enterprise. all editions except the SaaS one, because in a SaaS environment, everything is in one instance. All other editions are open source, and you can obviously review the code and extend the code. And this should give you as a merchant or as an agency the ultimate flexibility to develop everything that you need to differentiate yourself from competitors within the industry. In terms of the SaaS version, I will not focus on that in this webinar. This will be a bigger part in our Shopware Community Day next week. And there's also a sneak peek available. If you go to our website, you see the banner on top, so you can learn more about that there. As I said, the developer or the community edition is for free, and it has a developer focus. And then we have the professional and enterprise edition, on which we can focus for a few more minutes. The professional edition has a one-time license fee of around €2,500. There's an optional subscription fee that I will explain in the next slide, but these €2,500 would be everything you would ever pay to Shopware to own the professional license. And what you would get on top on everything I've shown you before, and that's available in the community edition, is basically support from Shopware. You have the option to offer customizable products. So maybe I can show that in the demo in a quick overview. So you have custom products over here in the catalog section. And here are templates for custom products. And what it can do is it can make products customizable. So you can offer your merchants the option to maybe for a certain bag to select outside material, outside color, inside material. And maybe they can put their name on it. So there are different options that you can use right here to let people that shop in your online shop customize their products. So that's just one differentiator. There's also social shopping, so Facebook and Instagram integration, and additional CMS features like the quick view option. You could also rent the professional edition. That's the second figure right here, and that would cost €199 per month. The enterprise edition costs €40,000, also one-time license fee, and there's a lot more in that. So there are also extended CMS functionalities. There's the B2B suite put in there. You can also get support for the PWA infrastructure that you want to build up. And you get a high performance and configurable search based on Elasticsearch. I mentioned that you can get support from Shopware. So that would be this slide. In the professional world, you can differentiate between silver support and gold support. So silver would cost €70 per month, gold 150, and you get free updates to minor you can get the update for free to minor and major releases. So if Shopware at some point in the far future would go from version 6 to version 7, you would never have to pay the one-time license fee again. If you have a subscription, you can do the update for free. The same for customers that are currently sitting on Shopware 5 and are happy with it. As soon as they want to make the decision to move to professional Shopware 6 and they have a subscription, they can do it for free. In terms of support from our side, in the Silver Edition, you get support from us as the manufacturer via email, and the reaction time is maximum 3 days. In the Gold version, you also have the option to get a callback support. So one of our support agents will call you back and explain how you can solve the problem that you maybe have in the standard version of Shopware. And also the reaction time is shorter. And you get one staging environment. The Diamond subscription is obligatory for the Enterprise Edition, and there you get 24/7 support for emergency stuff like business critical issues. You also get developer support. You have a direct line to our enterprise support, and there's also long-term support. So if we speak for enterprise customers that are now on Shopware 5, we committed to, for 5 years, give at least security updates and do not want to push them onto our next version, Shopware 6. We give them at least 5 years where they can make the decision and not just pushing them to the next version. But as I said, if you want to learn more about it, this is just a very brief, very quick overview. Just drop us an email and we can go in more detail about that. And in the Q&A section, maybe we can answer some few basic questions on that if there are one or two. So the last part from the agenda, an outlook on Q4 of 2020 and beyond. And there's not much I can tell you right now. What I want to tell you is that you should attend the Shopware Community Day, which is happening as a digital event next week. And it is basically a 2-day event for everyone who is interested in e-commerce. There are 30 plus talks from merchants, from the community, from external developers, and also from Shopware itself. So there we will present everything that's new and that's coming for Shopware in 2020 and beyond. And there are also different merchants or merchant cases that are developing on Shopware 6 right now or are also live. So if you want to see Shopware 6 in action or some case studies, would be worth tuning in on the 18th and 19th of June. So the first day will focus around merchants and agencies, and the second day is basically only for developers with developer content. You can sign up for free on scd.shopware.com, and you can already see the agenda. So you see what content will be presented when, and if there's maybe something interesting for you where you want to tune in and where you want to find out more, and it would be worth checking it out, because the quick summary that I've done right now from the platform Shopware 6 and what happened since the initial launch last year, that will be in a more extended way also part of the community day of the 2-day event. And there, as I said, will also be presented use cases and everything that's going on in the community and stuff like that. So would be definitely worth checking that out. That would be basically everything from my side. I have no idea if I was more or less in time or not. But now we would have time for the Q&A section, and maybe there are already questions coming in and Marion checked out a few of them. I don't know.
Yeah, thanks, Max, for the detailed insight into Shopware 6. We only received one question so far, but it doesn't matter. So yeah, let's try to answer it. Max, what is the best way to decide what products to add? What products add to the Google Shopping if you now want all your products there?
Okay, I was muted. The standard mistake that everyone is doing in these times.
No problem.
Maybe I can switch to the demo. And I mentioned Google Shopping before, and from my understanding, I'm not a developer and I have only basic knowledge about it. So maybe it would be also worth sending us an email if the answer that's coming now is not satisfying enough. What our sales channel Google Shopping is doing is creating an export feed from all the products you want to have in Google Shopping. And then you have to go to the Google setting, place the feed there, and it will get all the products, the catalog from Shopware 6 onto Google Shopping. I know that's not the most detailed explanation, so maybe, as I said, it would be worth sending us an email, but that's the answer that I can give right now.
Okay, thank you very much. So yeah, we don't get more questions. So yeah, okay, sorry. There are some more questions now. Okay, let's go further. Max, what are the minimum and recommended hardware requirements for Shopware 6?
Oh, that's a very good question.
Yeah.
What I do in this kind of cases, I go to docs.shopware.com because we have an extensive documentation about everything for users, for users and for developers. So if I would type in requirement, there's system requirements, and is it for Shopware 6? No, it's for Shopware 5. But if you go to our documentation and would go to system, now it should also be for Shopware 6 somewhere here. But doesn't matter, this for Shopware 5. Send us an email, we'll find it out for you. But normally you would find it in our documentation. So for Shopware 6, for Shopware 5, for example, here are the minimum requirements. For Shopware 6, it could be right over here. No, this is the quick start guide. Yeah, I was not prepared for this question, so I have
No problem.
not a detailed answer right here, but I will find it out later on. Just send an email to international-sales@shopware.com. Any more questions?
Yes, more questions. So the next question is, does the professional monthly rental version include silver or gold support subscription?
Yeah, so the rental version includes the subscription fee. It includes the silver subscription. If you want to do the gold subscription with rental, it's a bit more expensive. But the rental version already includes a subscription.
Okay, the next question is, can we use the rule builder to customize anything about prices? Sorry, anything but prices, I'm sorry.
I'm not quite sure what you mean there. You can customize nearly everything within the administration area, and you can also customize pricing. So as you see here, you have the option to do advanced pricing based
Yeah.
on a rule that you created in the rule builder before. So basically for all customers, I can set a pricing of 160 here, and I can add more pricing for different kind of rules. So for US customers, I can say it should be 170 euros. I'm not quite sure if that is what the person meant, but maybe he will post a follow-up question.
Okay, so if the questioner doesn't answer, please send us an email, and we will try to answer it more in detail. Let's have a look at the next questions. How deep will be the migration from Shopware 5 to Shopware 6? For example, custom products.
In general, the migration from Shopware 5 to 6 is like a complete rebuild, because we developed Shopware 6 from scratch onto a new set of technologies, full stack Symfony and Vue.js. I mean, parts of Symfony were already in Shopware 5, but it is like a complete rebuild, and you can do a data migration. So there's a migration plugin from Shopware available. I think I was already in the right section here in the documentation. So there's a migration plugin available that helps you to get all your data over from Shopware 5 to 6. And that also helps you to get all your data from a Magento shop over to Shopware 6. So this migration plugin is basically a foundation to migrate data from, in the future, hopefully any other e-commerce platform, but currently from Magento 1 and 2 and Shopware 5 onto Shopware 6. Everything else in terms of design, themes that are allocated to it, or custom development needs to be rebuilt for Shopware 6. But yeah, there's a migration plugin.
Yeah, it is. And we got we got a migration webinar, I think 2 or 3 weeks ago. Yeah, and the record is on our website, on the website knowledge at the webinar. It's a webinar site. Yeah. The next question, Max. Does the checkout force commercial customer from Europe to enter the VAT ID to get VAT exempt?
Okay, that question focuses on B2B customers that can put in their VAT ID to do not have to pay taxes or do not have to pay VAT, sorry. This is not a standard requirement that is useful for the most of the users that use Shopware 6, but for these cases like B2B, there are plugins available in our store. And I know that we had a plugin for Shopware 5 that will most likely be continued for Shopware 6 that helps you to validate the VAT ID from the European Union, and then they can add it in the checkout and they do not have to pay VAT then. And you can also set up customer group for B2B customers that get net prices. Yeah.
Okay, and the last question, I would say, what is the workflow to process orders?
Good question. If I jump back into the demo, we can go to orders over here. And this is maybe also a key feature, a good feature that I missed in the short demo because of a lack of time. This is the order that came in, and I can change the status over here just manually, or I could have an integration into my ERP system and it will be changed automatically here. Depending on my workflows, but in out-of-the-box Shopware, you can change it right here. You can change the delivery status. And as soon as I change it to ship, for example, I can also assign an email template to it so that the customer instantly get an email about the shipment of the order. And I can also create more documents. So if I want to create a delivery note for the customer, I can just create it right here. And I can download the PDF file, or I can send it to the customer via email automatically. So that's the workflow, how to proceed. I lost the word, but it doesn't matter. And you can also starting with Shopware 6.2, add orders from the administration area. So if you take orders via phone, you can just add an order manually over here, select the customer, select the product, and add it to the platform. That's something that was added just recently, but here you can see the workflow and processing orders, and should be standard, I think, in a bit more easy way, maybe in Shopware.
Cool, thanks. So that was the last question. Thanks for joining our webinar. We hope you enjoyed it. If you have any further detailed question after our session, please feel free to come back to us via email to internationalsales@shopware.com, and yeah, we will help you out. So yeah, have a nice day, and goodbye.